people are using the wrong tools to actually manage their whole workflow. And don't get me wrong, that's fine if you essentially want to make 30K a year. $30,000, that is, not pounds or euros. But if you want to make $30,000 max a year, cool. Use Google Docs, use Notion, but all you will have is just essentially a glorified job, right? Which most people, I don't know if they realize that's what it is that they have, or it just kind of just works out that way. But realistically, you don't want that, right? You actually don't want that. So let's get this screen optimized here. And let me know in the chat if you can see this okay. And I will continue on. So let's see. And this is always a test for me, when people are messaging and they say things that sound good. Like, yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how this works. I'm like, well, I can show it to you right now. How interested in fixing your systems are you? Because that's really my forte. I'm like a systems thinker. I've done operations, I've done product, I've done leadership, CEO roles, like all of that, chief creative strategist for private clients, manage Facebook ads, 30K, 40K budget per month, running complete strategies for lead generation, you name it. And that's why I built these kind of tools into my software suite. So, okay, Karen's not here, so we're just gonna go live and continue on anyway. But if you got questions, pop them in the chat. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna walk you through the framework and pretty much how I think about creator asset management. Okay, so first things first, I've, I guess, broken it down into a few ways. I'm not gonna go into depth on bookkeeping and those kind of operations, because they're more the financial operation side of it, but I'm talking specifically about the creator side of it. Okay, and if you got a creative team, whether that is script writers, thumbnail designers, videographers, editors, it doesn't really matter. This is what first party is done for. And again, for the record, this is not me pitching you. I'm just using the framework of how I actually manage my creator assets and how you could, because I don't use Google Docs, I don't use Notion, I don't use Google Drive, I don't use any of those things because they're just not needed. Okay, so let's make sure that we are sharing the right screen. Before we get stuck in, because once it's on, it is on. Okay, so that's showing that screen. I don't want to be showing that. Yeah, there's a little lag. That's probably why. Okay, cool, we're good. Just wanted to check on stream that we are nice. Play. Yeah, we're good. Cool. Cool. Move that out of the way. All right, happy days. So I broke it down into 5 categories. Okay, you've got publish, you've got content OS, which is operating system, measure, reach, and of course the money. So starting with publish. Okay, now quick backstory. When I built First Party, which was January this year, it didn't look like this. So this has gone through over 26 different iterations. I've added on so much to it, which this is the one-stop shop for all creators and creative businesses. Okay, so that's the first thing I would say. But the reason why I built this was mainly because I needed a system that could essentially manage my workflow for me and present my work in the best possible way, because my background is music. That's where I started out, as a musician, recording artist, producer, songwriter. Got my first break as a recording artist, signed in the United States, dropped out of university, did the whole college dropout thing, and did well out there. Okay, then I went on to be an independent artist and business owner, and that's really where my entrepreneurship journey started. Since then, skipping a few years, I've done different sectors: real estate, finance, commodities, luxury goods, agriculture, private investment, tech, venture capital, you name it. I've done my trades in these particular fields. But now I find myself more in the software luxury goods sector, and of course as a creator, which has never changed. But when you're managing YouTube, you need to have the right systems, because without the systems, you're going to be chasing your tail. You're not going to be operating at maximum efficiency. So I needed something that could do that and display that very, very quickly. Okay. So with the publish side, this is pretty much like the easy part. Okay. I'll show you real quick what it looks like once you are finished. So this is your, I would say, customer facing, audience facing interface, right? So this is my first party creator page, and pretty much the front of house where I actually get all of the information in from an audience. So people can follow me by filling in those details. They can send me a DM, details here. So I've got my own DMs here. I've got my value of my email list. Of course, I've not sent this out. I am now launching again first party, so this number will increase. And then I've got all my different media outlets. So I've got music that I've done. I've got a banner to my business, which is my watch business, or the watch side of the business. And then I've got all these different links. I've got my white paper, which I wrote in 2024. Video is the next great asset class, so you can get that free download. That's my lead magnet. I've got my digital shop, so I can do physical and digital products all from my own shop, okay, which is pretty cool. We've got links to my YouTube channel, social proof, some cool things that I've done. Here you go. What else? We got software that I use. These are another tools which I want to talk about today, but Exit Math for operations and Lydia for sales. And then you can actually book a call and you go through a custom funnel, which again, you can have yourself as a creator. Okay. And this, I'll walk you through that maybe on this stream, maybe another stream. We'll see how long I go. I don't have a drink, so that could be the bottleneck. But this whole page, this is done here. So you design all your content and upload that here. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. It's pretty much upload images, content, audio, whatever it is that you want to display, but that's where it's done. Okay. But a lot of the questions that I've been getting recently is probably more related to the Content OS system, because these DMs that I get from people, like the one that I read out earlier, it's things like what he says. Since you built first party specifically around that workflow, I'd definitely be interested in seeing how you've set it up. What would you say the biggest advantage over a more traditional setup? Well, Karen, I just told you I am on live stream now and you are missing it. In real time, because we don't have time to be messaging back and forth. And what's the biggest advantage? I'm just going on stream and I'm going to show you it visibly so you can see for yourself. But as I said, a lot of the questions I've been getting is the same thing, same comment. I use Notion, Google Docs, blah blah blah, right? And again, nothing wrong with them, whatever floats your boat. However, that's not the best way to do it, and I'm going to show you why. So in the Content OS, this was its own, like I said, app originally. So it went through 5 renditions. So iPad app, Mac OS app, then it was 200 views, then it turned into, Notion, then iPad app, then Mac OS app, then it was 200 views, and then I migrated, because 200 views was its own SaaS, and then I just built that into first party, because first party pretty much acquired one of my mini SaaSes, okay? And the idea bank pretty much is where all your YouTube ideas and all your planning goes. So for me personally, this is a much better system than Google Docs and Notion. And you know why? Because it's visual. And with it being visual, it actually changes the game for you, because there's no messing around, right? There's no messing around. You can literally scroll through and just pick any of the things that you need to look at any time. So for example, I've got my YouTube ideas, right? I can manage my titles, all my different ones that I've got in pre-production, okay? And this is all in one specific space. So if I was to compare that with Google, I'm gonna have to do like 1,000 clicks first of all. This is very seamless and straightforward, and it's built and designed for this specific job. So another thing here, we're going to be doing ideas research, right? We want to research our ideas before we actually even put them into production. So again, you've got a system where you can actually select the title that you've already created, uh, and you can go through all the different categories: audience, core problem, promise, payoff. A Google Doc does not have that by default. You physically have to think of a system and then create them. So because I've been doing this for so long, I just continuously built systems because I'm like, oh, this is just a repeated process. So why don't I just build a system for that? And that's really what you're looking at here: promise, payoff, angle, proof, evidence, examples, reference, thumbnail, ideas, hook ideas, opposing beliefs, extra notes. And then you can actually start to scale this out with your team, because there could be a few people working on this one video. And again, that's what first party is designed for. But speaking of people who message me, let's see if Karen responded. No, he didn't. So that tells me he was either A, lying, B, he's at his job, so he's trying to pitch me for money and services, whatever, but he's not fully committed. I'm fully committed. This is my business full time. That's why I'm on stream in the middle of the day, okay? But Karen is not. And when people say these things, this is why I call them out in a respectful way, of course, because a lot of the time they don't realize how they are coming across as someone who cold outreaches, which is in my short that I posted earlier on. I said that the gurus are lying to you. And the reason they're lying to you is because they're telling you to do cold outreach, but they know what the ratio is, especially if you got no social proof. Nobody knows who you are. Like, and everybody's doing that, it seems, in this educational space. How are you going to stand out? What's going to make you different? Not much. So I said, wouldn't it be better if you actually put time and effort into a live stream? You got 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 connections on LinkedIn. Just use the facilities and go live there. More people is going to see you because you got the people. If I had that amount of people now on LinkedIn, I probably would be streaming on LinkedIn and YouTube simultaneously. And the reason being is because I'm going to reach the people who I need to reach to. I'm not trying to edit it and make it polished. I'm just going to speak from the dome and freestyle this because it's stuff that's already in here. I just need to get it out. Okay. So that's just a little segment there for you. So research ideas. So these are things that would be applicable to someone like Karen. Here, I won't go into this because I want to get to the meat and bones. These are educational tabs. VTLS, that's my system for writing. You got the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which links to the type of videos that you could be creating. So again, giving you ideas before you even start creating. Title challenge, which isn't rolled out to everyone. This is only for admin at this moment in time because it's a very powerful tool and it's very expensive and can get very expensive very quickly. But I'll just show you exactly how it works. But let's check if Karen actually responded back. In fact, did any of the people that messaged me, pitched me in the last 3 days, 4 days respond? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 people who pitched me for SEO and a bunch of other stuff didn't even respond to the message. And it's kind of the same thing like what Mr. Beast does, where he says, if this person messages me back in the next 10 seconds, I will give them $10,000. And that's how wide in you've got to be, because you never know. That's the internet. And when people pitch and they don't know because they never do the research, this is another thing the gurus actually tell you to do. They say do the research and actually make an effort to captivate the attention. Then you might actually get the business. But if you just come with a generic message, no one cares, bro. That's just the truth. Nobody actually cares. So 8 out of 8 people who message, 0 responses, 0 on the live stream. Whoop-de-doo. That is the nature of this business. So moving forward, title challenge. Now, this is another tool that is in the suite, which again, you don't get in your Google Doc or Notion. They don't have that and you haven't built it. So the whole premise is to really stress test the ideas of the titles that you've come up with. Now, as a creative strategist, as a YouTube strategist, which so many people claim to be, but I never hear them talking about the tools that they build. All I hear is I put it into ChatGPT, or all I hear is I put it in a spreadsheet. and I've got a list of titles. Like, this is really like basic level stuff. Respectfully, I say that respectfully. Let me just send a quick message out here. Let's see. Yeah, so they never talk about these tools. So this is designed to do stress testing. So how it works is simply pick your title. You choose the amount of subscribers you've got, right? Proof. Do you have any soft proof, hard proof? Pause. Let's say you got all the proof, so it's hard. Pause. You choose your creator type. I'm gonna say YouTuber. Is it educational, absurdist, personal story, analytical? It's gonna be one of those. Let's say personal story. And then what I've done is, which again, reason why I haven't rolled it out yet, because there's more frameworks that I actually want to use. So many people will tell you use AI, use AI, use AI. AI is only good at processing language, okay? You have to be smarter than AI to use its capabilities to get you even better results than just how do I do X ChatGPT, because that's going to get you novice level results, okay? So what I've done is created my own models, all right, for YouTube titles, specifically just that, okay? That's what Title Challenge does. It is a model to give your titles stress testing so you can actually fine tune them and make better titles, okay? And check your blind spots, because you might think this is a great title. ChatGPT said it's a great title, but ChatGPT is AI. I use human-based frameworks, okay, and expand on them. So you got a Mr. Beast framework, you got a Vexian framework, you got a Paddy Galloway framework, you got a title framing framework specifically, and this is probably I won't say it's the best one because these are personal choice ones, but it is the most, I would say, broad based and can give you like the best insights, because you might not be doing like a Paddy Galloway inspired type video or Mr. Beast type video, and it's not necessarily based on the videos that they make, it's the way how they think, okay? So I've created my own models for this. Then you can actually choose which provider. So right now we've got OpenAI and Anthropic, but my goal is to let you add your own tokens, and then you can chop that up as much as you want. So then when I hit challenge, here's what's going to happen, okay? So this is where it gets really, really, really good. So I'm going to hit challenge, and it's going to do its thing. It's running the title framework, and the title is, what is your channel actually worth? Quite bog standard title, but let's see what first party says about this title in title challenge, and then we'll see what improvements we can do. And again, you're not going to get this in a Google Doc or Notion. That's just not the best workflow, which I will keep saying. So here we've said weak title burns out immediately under the title framing framework, uses a question ending format, flagged at 0.82x lift, 18% below average. So it's giving you even some stats here. No frame stacking, zero specificity, relies entirely on curiosity with no payoff clarity. For a 0 to 1000K channel with hard proof available, this wastes the creator's strongest asset, real numbers. The title asks a vague question instead of positioning the creator as someone who discovered something through lived experience. Completely misses the 2026 stacking strategy and uses a format viewers scroll past. Now, you don't want that. Okay, now it goes further, it gives you a score out of 10. What works? Okay, addresses a question some creators genuinely wonder about. Topic has potential if reframed with proof and transformation. But then look, all the things that we just mentioned, what needs work? Okay, tone mismatch, personal story preference, demands, lived experiences, all of that good stuff. And then it gives you 6 stronger title ideas. Now, again, you don't have to use these titles, but it's based off of the framework. It's told you what works, what doesn't work, and then it's give you some ideas for titles as well. You might rock with them, you might not, but at least it's giving you another benchmark, another stress test for you to work from. So that's title challenge. Okay, you've even got the 3 act structure. This is very top notch. Again, you're not getting that on Notion. Okay, so, and you can also save that as well, by the way, and then you can refer back to them because you might say, this is a good one, let's roll with it. All right, so it's been about 10 minutes of yapping there. Let's see, did our first questioner or live audience member, potential guest, whatever you want to call it, did any of them respond no? And I'm not like criticizing anyone here, just for the record, that they're doing work. I'm just letting you know when I say this is like the market. Like, people message all day long, but I don't think they've actually done the work to warrant them pitching in that manner. Because if they'd done the work, they wouldn't need to pitch anyone. Like, I don't pitch anybody on LinkedIn. I never DM someone and be like, hey, I got this service. I'm just not doing that. I'm focused on building an actual audience on the platforms that have the distribution, like YouTube. Because if people know me on YouTube for the things that I do, say, build, and represent, and I don't need to pitch anyone. People pitch me, which I get these every day. Okay, whether it's TikTok, whether it's LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. People's pitching me because they've seen something or I've done something. That's a stronger position that you want to be in. And if you manage your career assets in that way, then you will have better results. And it's just time, it compounds. So it's better to just work on you and getting more refined than, trying to attempt something else. Okay. So that is title challenge. Now, getting to probably the meat and bones. Unfortunately, Karen's not here, and I keep calling him out just for the giggles, but not in a negative way. But this is who it was actually for. And we was just messaging, and now he's ghosted, which is a pattern, by the way. I don't know what's going on LinkedIn. Like, people message you, they ask a few questions, they realize they're not getting some quick, fast money, and then they just bounce. And they probably cold pitching and cold outreaching to other people, but it is what it is. Anyway, this is how I manage my title. So this is what I know. This is my new framework. Here's what I know. I know that me clicking two clicks is a lot faster than any Google Docs or any Notion doc. I know that for sure. And I say that because I literally built this tool from Notion. Didn't use it. Then I was like, okay, let me just make it into an app. Then I started to use it on the iPad because it's very interactive. Then I was like, I need bigger screens. I need more screen real estate. Let's build it on the Mac. And then I was like, okay, let's build it into a SaaS so everyone can use it. Because people was like, oh, it's on Apple. I don't have Apple. And I'm like, all right, fine. Let me learn another language and build it. And then I will let you have it. Okay, so that's what I did. And then I acquired it from my other business and put it into first party. So now you're seeing a fully refined version of this over, I think, 3 years. Yeah, at least maybe 4 years actually. I think it could be 4 years old. So in the 4th year of this software, here we are. Few clicks, I can start to write my script. I could say hello YouTube, and you see on the right here, that's my intro. We are streaming about creator asset management. Sorry if my voice is a little croaky. I was at a family barbecue yesterday, and was yapping a lot. So we put it in work. Anywho, here's how your script will look. Okay, I don't have to write the whole thing. You get the picture. Let's copy that across. Boom. I just want to show you. Creators need to understand capital allocation. Of course they do. Right. Now, once we've got it here, in Act 3, so I'm ready to save. So I'm going to save and move to proofread. Okay. Then it saves the title. So there is no exporting. Like, we don't have to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Idea Bank. And I'm going to go to my proofread. And this is the process of a script writer. So again, if Karen was here, or if Cameron was here, or if Jiku was here, or Sumit was here, or Riyadh or Naki was here, I would be able to show them this is how you manage your script. And this is how you save time when you're trying to actually do all this cold outreach and try and get clients, right? Like, that's not leverage. You need leverage in your work. So once it's here anyway, you literally select it, and all your other scripts that you've put into proofread and moved along the conveyor belt, they'll pop up here, right? So now um, let's just say, sorry, that you're ready to finalize your script, and you're gonna say, okay, select that. I'm gonna move it to script gallery. So I've saved that, moved it to script gallery, and it's moved along the conveyor belt. And then when you see here, here's your finished script. And if you want to read it, it'll come up here, right? And if you're still not sure, you can be like, you know what? I'm gonna move it back to proofread. And one thing actually we'll probably just add on in a second, because I had it on previous versions. You can then email the script to yourself. So that's a very, very handy tool, or download it as a PDF, whichever. But yeah, you got the option. I mean, once it's here, you can copy it and then you can just put it in. So that's why I haven't added email, but I'll add that so it's an extra, because it was there before. So, however, you don't have that in Google Docs or Notion. Just remember that. You don't have these additional tools in a spreadsheet, right? You would have to spend hours and hours making different tabs, and even when you did all of that, it's still not going to be as fluid as this, because this is software. That is a spreadsheet. That is the fundamental difference. I have built a system, you have built a sheet. And for scalability, that's not going to work, right? That's as a professional telling you that's not going to work. Someone who does this for a living, okay? So that's your idea bank script side of things. Now, I'll gloss over some other bits that are, baked into this idea bank section, because I might just stop on idea bank today, because this is a lot. First part is literally like a one-stop shop, so I couldn't go through every single category in one stream. And this is what these live sessions are going to be about, which I'll then post this into school, so then people who are wondering what this is all about, then they can just actually go here and see. Okay, so another thing that you've got, I'll show you a script gallery. We've got little tools like this. So again, a lot of people get bombarded by and overwhelmed by, oh, I need to do this amount of videos, and then they stress themselves out, and then they end up not doing any videos. That's what usually happens. So if you just said, look, I've got 12 videos on my car channel, right? Started 90 days ago. And I want to get to 100 videos. Let's just say 150. No, in fact, let's say 50 videos, okay? I want to get to 50 videos. And if I'm doing one video per week, just one, it will take me till Monday, May 10th, 2027, which is next year. I'll hit that in 266 days if I'm doing one upload a week. So there's no need to then stress, right? There's my progress chart, 24% of the target, days needed, weeks needed, remaining videos. Very simple. It's very simple. It's just maths. So you never have to actually get worried or bombarded or overwhelmed with, I need to do videos, I need to do videos. Like, just relax, bro. You just need to just figure out what your target is and just stick to it. Make something better each time, improve something, and make more videos. Get to 100 videos. This is what Mr. Beast has told me. Just make 100 videos, keep improving something each time, and just get to uploading. That's all you've got to do for YouTube. That's it. That is the secret sauce. Just upload, stream, post, shorts. Just put things on YouTube. And that's probably going to be, in fact, I'm going to write that right now. Stream, upload, shorts, community posts, long form. Just get stuff on YouTube now. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. That's the secret sauce. So drop me a comment if you see that on the stream and let me know. All right, friend message back. Okay, so Karen, what's this going on? This is my portfolio. Yo, we're on live stream, bro. live stream. If you want your portfolio reviewed, come on stream in 10 seconds. Boom. This is how you have to play it today. We don't have time to be checking out Beehive and all these other platforms. I don't, or Behance. I'm not checking that. If you're not putting it on first party, I'm not looking at it. That's my mentality. And you can say what you want, but it is what it is, bro. I'm not promoting somebody else's software. Sorry, not doing that. We have enough and we use enough, but you got to promote your own. So that's another tool. Quick side note there. And then you've got format. So I really like this tool. It's like format builder, okay? So the idea of it is basically to come up with different sections of a format. So let's just see. I'll be honest, it's been a minute since I've been on here. Segment. So you cold open, and it gives you suggestions on what you can do, right? Then you can write your notes, and this is you literally like figuring out the format of a show. So for example, if I was just freestyle off the top of my head right now, this format that I'm doing on my YouTube live stream is pretty much like a live interactive audit, like off the cuff type show. I'm not scripting it. I'm not going to be, saying certain things at a certain time. There's no, there's no sponsored ads, which, is sponsored by first party, if anything. But yeah, it's just an off the cuff show. It's like a live stream. I'm not like planning this. I am literally bouncing off of the interactions that I'm getting from messages in my DMs on LinkedIn and messages on WhatsApp, whatever it may be. And then I'm actually going to play off that and go through the material that I want to do. But I have to use first party as my benchmark, mainly because that's the main system that I use, just like Format Builder. If I was to create a show, which I've done before, and produce shows, this is where I would start. So these are just other tools. I'm not gonna, yap on about that, but they're just other tools for you. And as you can see here, this is what your format starts to look like, and you can tweak it. So this is all the nuts and bolts of how you get great at YouTube. So as much as I think the best accolade I would say I've had on YouTube is I did a documentary about the number one African YouTuber, and I think I was like with like 40 subscribers or 30 subscribers at the time. I got like 32,000 views in like 2 days. And well, I think this was over time, but I think I got about 20,000, 15,000 in a few days. And I actually had the African YouTuber, Wadamaya, actually give me props, promote it on his YouTube, promote it on his Twitter, and that brought in a lot of people from the continent. And to get that recognition for like a documentary that I just wanted to make, that was pretty cool. And that's when it all really clicked about audience and all these different things, because I've been doing YouTube for a long time. I'm doing music YouTube since 2010, but then doing this educational business type YouTube since 2021. But I've been testing a lot. I've been seeing what works for me, seeing what doesn't work for me, what I like, what I don't like, and what's good for my business. And it's hard, you got to keep refining it and trial and error and just get into it. But I think I've found like my sweet spot, which I love cars and I'm building my car at the moment. I'm tweaking it, modifying it, repairing it, doing all kind of stuff to it, and that's what I do. I've been learning mechanics kind of like on the side on my actual business, but from a creative standpoint, that's what fulfills me. This type of creative stuff, this is me getting my ideas out and sharing them with you to help you, okay? Because I built all these things not only for me. It's like, yes, I use them, but they offer other people to benefit from as well, because we all have the same processes effectively, right? It's essentially the same stuff. So that's Format Builder, a bit of backstory and context for you. And this is Idea Bank. So I'm probably going to wrap up on Idea Bank. If there was more people in the chat, if Karen, and I'm going to call them out, and Naki, and Riyadh, and Sumit, and Jiku, and Cameron, all actually responded, then they might have been able to get on stream. But they didn't. All I got was a Behance message, and that was, I don't know, 41 minutes ago from when I messaged him. So there you go. So here's a lesson for you. You never know who's actually on the other end of the person that you're sending a cold reach out message to. You actually don't know who they are, what they've done, what they're about, what they know. So always think that they know more than you. Or just think that if this is like a whale of a client, let's say, then I need to come correct. Do some basic research. People don't even research before they DM you. They just copy and paste. Oh, you're these generic lines. Oh, it intrigued me about creator asset management. Bro, you don't even subscribe to the channel. Why am I going to listen to what you have to offer if the first thing you're saying to me is a pitch about SEO? Nobody cares about SEO, bro. You know what they care about? Videos. The more videos that you have, the better the reach you're going to have. The more people know you, as Grant Cardone would say, Uncle G, the more people are going to flow you. If I don't know you and you spam me on LinkedIn, which is not my favorite platform anyway, I'm not going to flow you. And more than likely, I can do the thing that you're already offering. So I'm not your customer. And if you did research, read like 10 posts, you'd probably figure that out. Or if you clicked some of the links, went and did research and not just blow the lead because you just want to copy and paste and be lazy. That's what that gets me, laziness. And I'm going to clip this and throw that on LinkedIn. So how about that? And I'll throw it on YouTube Shorts because that is the game. I told you, upload, 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 upload. Right, just upload. So we have just to summarize, we've touched on Idea Bank, and I'll probably drill down more once we get more people on these streams because they'll be asking questions and I can go a bit deeper. But when it's just myself, I have to conserve my voice because I'm making like 80 posts a day on LinkedIn and a countless amount of videos. I'm doing mechanic videos. I'm coding right now. I'm topping up websites and SaaS products and all kind of stuff, right? So we have to work smart. But probably on the next stream, I will probably go a bit deeper because I want to go through all of it. This is my system, okay, for managing career asset management. Just one of them, by the way, just one. We're not talking about business operations. We're not talking about sales. We're not talking about brand deals. We're not talking about digital products. We're not talking about physical products. We're not talking about streaming, trust scores, all of this stuff, link tracking. Like you'll see once we go through this series. But career asset management for me is like the pinnacle. This is what you attain to become in order to be the best YouTuber possible, especially if you're a solo creator, especially if you're in a team of 1 to 3, you outsource things, like you're going to be working with a variety of people. So you need to have like the right systems in place. And 8 out of 10 creators that speak to me, they don't have these systems in place. They just don't. Every time I know already, as soon as you pitch me SEO, I know your software stack looks like Google Drive, free, Notion, free. Like you're using free stuff, and that's why you can't scale, and that's why you're DMing and cold outreaching, just like the gurus tell you to do, and think that you're going to buy a Ferrari off that. Maybe if you had 20 people doing cold outreach every day on your team, maybe so. But the odds are not in your favor, my friend. They're just not. So it would make sense for you to get systems, because if you get systems in place now, then you can actually build on top of those foundations and then scale, which is what I'm doing now. Hence why I can yap for 45 minutes, go get tea, come back, do some code, post another 20 times, because I got the systems for it. If I wanted to do it automated, I have that system as well. If I want to do value maxing posts, I can do that. Few clicks, boom. I don't even have to write anything. Why? Because I've got the frameworks. I've got the systems in place. So if you want systems, holler at you, boy. I got you. End of stream.